Attention bowlers, we are gonna get started. Welcome back to Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire for another Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour match. It's Class B North today. It's Caitlin Zoltko at Mark Milliken, a home match at the away house. It is a home match for Mark Milliken, the trucker, but due to just some background complications, we're going to have this match today at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire, just to clear that up. So we are ready to get started right about here on Lane 5 and 6 in Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. Great to be with you on this Thursday, January 15th, 2026 in the afternoon. Mark Milliken, as the home bowler, has won the toss and will be bowling on lane 6 to start things out. The match format is 5 strings with 14 points on offer. Each string is worth 2 points, and the total pinfall is worth 4 points. And any ties, divide those numbers in half. Mark Milliken is currently 30 wins, 68 losses for the season. He bowls out of Portsmouth Bolo-Rama in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And for the spare shot, he had the triangle on a 7 drop, and he has an orange pin, 5 pin, king pin for the remaining pin for a 10 box. In Candlepin, you get a 3rd ball if you do not get a mark. The 3rd ball has knocked down the 10th pin for Mark Milliken, and in Candlepin, that equals a 10 box. So Mark Milliken has 10 points after 1 frame. Mr. Mark the Trucker Milliken, the Trucka Milliken, promoted from Class E North Division 2 to Class B North Division 4. And he has a season record again of 30 and 68 this season. So far, he's bowled 7 matches, 10 and 46 when he is away on the road, and home at Portsmouth, and by proxy today. Not counting this match just yet, he is 20 and 22. Mark Milliken will punch the 3, leave the 7, the 10, and the 6.
Hey, just remember, you picked this.
Caitlin reminds Mark that he picked the lane to start on. And Mark will leave 2 pins on the deck for an 8 box. That's 18 after 2 for Mr. Milliken. He has hit the head pin every single time on the first ball so far. Mark Milliken has a season average of 105.6. His away average is 101.2. Home average, 111.47. That is quite a difference of 10 pins for the differential for the averages, when you think about it. There's Mark Milliken connecting with the head pin once again, still perfect. It's a 6 drop. 2, 4, 7, 8. 9, excuse me. Mark takes 3 and then a 4th for a spare. First blood goes to Mark Milliken. Very nicely done. And if I can cue this up fast enough, if we have a spare moment, watch the shot by Mark Milliken. What a great shot. Cut over to the right on the cluster of wood on the left. Cluster of pins on the left with a piece of wood perpendicular across those 3 pins. He's working on spare. Mark. He'll punch 2. It becomes a 2 fill. That's 30 after 3 for Mr. Milliken. That's a right side half Worcester, a punch of the 3 and the 9. Poking through the center. 6 pins down now. 7, 10, 4, and 6 are on the deck as his leave for a 10 box with a 6 box guarantee. And Mark will make that a valiant attempt for a 10 box, but it will be an 8 for 38 after 4. Mark Milliken is high single for the season in the ACST so far this year. 141, a high series of 604. He has 13 strikes, 78 spares, and 64 tens with a 44% perfect box percentage, 3,696 seasonal pinfall. He has a challenging season so far with a division rank of 4. 4 out of 4 in his division, in case you were wondering. So he has some challenges ahead, but he's only a couple matches in, 7 matches of 18 so far this season. Currently fighting in the wild card at 15th place. Here's Mark. Head pin again, and a split of the 8 and the 10. Piece of wood set up for him to the left of the 8. I think it has a chance of going, but you have to hit it at a very specific angle or else it's going to cut too much in front of the 2 pins. Here's Mark. He wants to cut. Can't quite cut both pins. He'll get one of the 2. Mark is 4 for 5 on the head pin, has 3 splits. The result of the play is a 9 box for Mark Milliken. 5 boxes into this match in the first game, Mark Milliken is at 47 after 5, with only 1 miss on the head pin. 3 for 4 of those head pin shots were splits. For the first time today, here is Caitlin Zoltko. She'll start with a bang on the head pin, on the pocket. 2-7-10 for Caitlin Zoltko. She'll play the wood. I don't think it was intentional. It cuts back behind the 2 pin. Caitlin will turn that into a 9 box after 1. Caitlin Zoltko has a season record of 24 and 46, has bowled 5 matches this season. Class D North Division 2 last year, Class B North Division 3 this year. Here's Caitlin. Head pin punt, 4 pin spread eagle split. The split distribution is unusually high, even early in the match, but it's evenly distributed so far. Caitlin will take a few more out, tries the left half of the leave, leaves the 6, 7, and the 10. On lanes 5 and 6 at Lakeside Lanes, Caitlin Zoltko will make that a 9 box after the second for 18. So this is weird to explain today, but Caitlin Zoltko's home house is here at Lakeside Lanes, but this is a road game for Caitlin Zoltko. She'll drop 6 here to accommodate for scheduling and availability that was a little bit difficult to come by at Portsmouth. We're bowling this match at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire, so it's a away game at home for Caitlin Zoltko. She'll take the 4 and leave the 1, the 2, and the 9. And it will be another 9 box for Caitlin Zoltko for 27 after 3. Caitlin, so far this season, she's had an away record of 14 and 28 and a home record of 10 and 18. And she'll wash out the right side, 3 drop. 6 pack on the 10. Caitlin has a season average of 105.5 this season. It's a thin hit on the head pin. The 2, the 4, and the 5 are on the plate. Caitlin's away average is 107.87. That'll be her benchmark to achieve today, even though it is at her home house. When she's bowling home matches at Lakeside, her home average is 102.1. 4 9 boxes in a row for Caitlin Zoltko now. 36 after 4. Caitlin's high single is 130. High series 586 for this season in the ACST so far. Caitlin has 9 strikes, 48 spares, 71 tens. She'll split 6. Another head pin shot, 4, 6, 2, 7. Oh, what a nice spare for Caitlin. That's a great one. So she'll cap it off with a mark. And a to be continued on that. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. The 2 pin collided with the 6th to complete the split leave. That's 46 and a bonus for Caitlin Zoltko. Real quick, here's your score update in the full screen. 46 and a bonus for Caitlin Zoltko, 3 for 5 in the head pin, 3 splits. Mark Milliken, 4 for 5 in the head pin with 3 splits, 47 after 5. Difference of 1, but pending a spare fill by Caitlin Zoltko, open mark. Here is Mark the Trucker Milliken for the first time on the left lane today on lane 5. He'll take 6 down. One, 3, 6, 8. Takes 3, leaves 1. It's the 8 pin. There's a 10 box for Mark. That is 57 after 6 for Mr. Milliken. Mark Milliken, past 5 matches, he's raked in 16 points, averaging 3.2 per match. Little low, but can always turn that around at any moment's notice. $2,882 pinfall in Mark Milliken's past 5 matches. For the spare shot here. He'll take 2 and leave. He'll take all and leave 2. The 1 and the 3 are on the plate for a 10 box. Milliken will take a 10 box, and that's 67 and 7. 3 boxes to go before the conclusion of the first game for Mr. Mark Milliken. $1 million Milliken. Head pin. Get some sidewall and splashy, bouncy action. It's an 8 drop. It's the 3 and the 6 for Mark Milliken of Portsmouth Bolorama, the trucker. Went for the object pin, missed a little bit off to the left, leaves the 3 and the 6 as a result. And it will be an 8 for Mark. That's 75 after 8. Mark will drop 5. The ball was heading for the head pin, but it just took the exit before its destination. 1-7-10-2-9. Second ball connects with a sleeper pin. 1-2-7-9. 1-2-7-10 now. And it will be a 9. 84 and 9 for Mark Milliken. Oops, here we go. Our home bowler today, Mark Milliken. Again, it's a away match at our home match away. Even I'm getting confused by the crisscross of that. And Mark will take 6 down. 2-4-7-10. Mark has 4 splits this game. And went 6 for 10 on the head pin. So that's not bad. 60% quarterback rating so far. The 7 is taken out. First game is going to be Mr. 100. It'll be an 8. 92 first game for Mark Milliken. Was able to squeak out 3 10s and 1 spare, but had a lot of misfortune when it comes to the splits specifically. Here's Kalen Zoltko with an open mark. And what a nice fill on that open mark. I was about to say 9, but that 5-pin held on. So it will be 8. 54 after 5. And a nice spare to cap off that 8 fill. 64 and a bonus for Kalen Zoltko in the 6th. Deadwood slightly to the left of the red line. Resulted in success. 1-3 pocket again. 5-7-10 split for Caitlin with wood. That was an interesting second ball. Very light hit, very lengthy action. And there's a piece of wood that may need some tending. Maybe out of play. It is out of play. What am I saying? That is absolutely out of play. As Mark goes down to pick up the cargo. And there he goes. Thank you, Mark. Caitlin will make that an 8 box. She's at 79 after 7. While we are waiting, Caitlin Zoltko's stats so far this season, in case you missed it. She's 3rd place in her division. Currently 11th in the wild card seedings, positioning, you know what I mean. She has a slight edge over Mark Milliken overall. Caitlin 1-3 pocket, drops 5. Cluster on the left. For the spare, slightly off to the right of the object, leaves the 2 and the 4. The result of the play is a 9 box for 88 for Caitlin. Caitlin Zoltko has a 51% perfect box percentage this season so far. 26-39 pinfall so far this season after 5 matches played. And like I said, she's 3rd place in her division, 11th place in the wild card at the moment. In her past 5 matches, Caitlin has taken 24 points, averaging 4.8 per mark. Per game, excuse me. Match. My goodness, words, terms, averages, totals, numbers. What are they? That's a 6 drop. 4-6-3-7 for Caitlin. Sails into the center. Would have been a great second pocket shot. Double strike in a different universe. A nice cut shot. Nice 9 box. Nice way out of that. Caitlin Zoltko will take the first game with a 97 after 9. Compare that to Mark Milliken's 92 first game. Caitlin, a little full. Spread eagle minus the 3. 5 drop. Takes 3, leaves 2. This will be a buffer for the total, hopefully. Caitlin will pin it out for a 10 and go over 100. That's 107 for Caitlin Zoltko, who averages away 107.87. It is technically an away game, so Caitlin Zoltko right on the average with a 107. Takes the first game over Mark Milliken's 92. And we'll now head on to the next game. It's Mark Milliken once again here on the ACST Class B North. Caitlin Zoltko and Mark Milliken. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. Great to have you along. Thursday afternoon going into the evening. 7 drop for Mark. 3, 5, 9. And Mark will clean that up. Take a nice quick spare to start out the second game. Shot on the 3-5-9 for Mark, and he gains a mark. Mark marks it up. Mark, 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 mark. 10 after 1 and a bonus. He's on target on the pocket. 10 pin holding on for dear life. It'll be an 8 fill. 18 after 1. He's got Home Depot down there. He's surveying. Understands the assignment. Four planks of wood in between the 7 and the 10. Play the angles correctly, and you got it. He'll take the 7 and leave the 10. It's a 10 for Mark Milliken. That's 28 after 2. Mark Milliken has 2 matches totaling over or equal 500. His longest streak of strings greater than 100 this season so far has been 5. His longest streak of matches greater than 500 has been 2. His longest winning streak so far is just at 1. So it can go up at any point. It can double at any point. There's an 8 drop for Mark Milliken. It's the 6 and the 10. Mark pokes the 6, punches the 6 a little bit too straight back, leaves the 10. It'll be no mark. It'll be for a 10 box. It'll be 37 after 3 for Mark with that 9 box, leaving the 10. He's perfect on the head pin so far, 3 for 3. Overall, he's 9 for 13 for the day on the head pins. Narrow miss of the head pin, 6 pins to go down, 1, 7, 10, 3. Takes 3, leaves 1. I swear he just made direct eye contact with me as if I had something to do with that miss of the spare. And I was like, I don't know, man. You hit it right. That's all I got to say. And here's a 9. 46 after 4 for the trucker. He'll still be a great half overall. Mark Milliken, who currently averages 105.6. His home average is 111.47, though. Head pin, big bomb of a strike for Mr. Mark Milliken. A nice way to bow out on the half. He'll start and end with a mark that's 56 and a bonus after 5 for Mark Milliken, who went 4 for 5 in the head pin with only 1 split. 67% on the head pin so far for Mark Milliken. Here's Caitlin Zoltko once again. 1-2 pocket. 10 pin, holds on, 8 drop. 6 in the 10. She'll poke the 6, And only the 6. Comparable to Mark Milliken's struggles. That'll be a 9 for Caitlin. That's 9 after 1. Caitlin will drop 4 and leave a 6-pack left side. That's known as the 6-pack, and I like to advertise the local bar inside Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. The 25th lane, located right by the front desk. Great food, not fruit, great drink at the 25th lane. Well-stocked bar. So do check it out if you're ever here at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire, and are of age to drink, of course. That'll be a rough 4 box for Caitlin Zoltko. That's 13 after 2. Caitlin's to the left of the head pin, but it's a 5 drop with a cluster in the center. And it goes. Caitlin Zoltko will take a spare off of that cluster of 5. 23 and a bonus after 3. Look at that great action on the outside of the object target pin. High risk, high reward. That'll be an 8 drop and a split for Caitlin. 9 drop, actually, not a split. Just a 9 drop and a 9 fill. Six pin, single pin spare opportunity. Ball is just off to the left by a bit. 32 after 3 for Caitlin. There is a 10 box for Caitlin Zoltko, 42 after 4. This season, Caitlin Zoltko has 2 matches greater than or equal to 500 in total pinfall so far. 2,776 pins in her past 5 matches. 5 drop for Caitlin. 1, 2, 4, 7, 10. And she's on the pocket, the right pocket to be on, but the 7 and the 10 are left. And it's going to be a 9 box for Caitlin to close out the half. That'll put her at 51 after 5. 1 mark in the past 5 boxes for Caitlin, 2 marks in the past 5 for Mark Milliken, who returns to the lanes on a strike. Difference of 10 in the total in Caitlin Zoltko's favor, but the pending strike fill is the question mark. Mark Milliken up on the string by 5.
Why won't she answer? He's standing right there just screaming off at him. Say anything.
And we're ready to go now. Mark Milliken on a strike. Bombs away. To the left of the head pin, 8 so far. 1 in the 8 left on the deck.
So you don't get yelled at. Yeah. 5 minutes, get up.
On the strike fill, ooh, it's a bit of a misfire. 64 after 5. And he'll 10 box that remainder of the pins. 74 after 6 for Mark. Milliken. 1-2 pocket. 5, 6, 3, 9, 10. And a cluster of 5. Will the 5-pin decide to go down with everything else? Not quite. $83, maybe $84 after 7 for Mark. Let's find out what happens here. It'll be an $84 after 7 for Mark. Mark Milliken averages 2.5 points per away match and 6.7 points per home match. In his past 5 matches, 11 strikes, 68 spares, 54 tens. And 6 go down, 1, 2, 4, 7 for Mark Milliken. On the 4 horsemen, Mark will misfire. He hit pins, but not the target pin. He left the 1 and the 7. Be an 8, 9, or 10 for Mark now. He has 3 10 boxes this game, and 2 marks for 7 boxes. It is another 10 for Mark, his 3rd 10 in a row. Perfect in 4 boxes, 94 after 8. And Mark will drop a quick 9 there and leave the 8. And Mark will take a spare off of that, a nice one. Not a problem for the trucker. On a single with wood, drive the 18-wheeler right into that. No problem. A pile drive of the 10, of the 10th pin. For the follow-up on the spare, Mark will take a 4-drop. 6-pack right. Oh, and that was a reset. Yikes. Well, oopsie. Well, it ends up being a 112 for Mark Milliken, a mistaken reset. That ends up being the 10th frame after the first ball. So 2 game total of 204 for Mark, 92, and then 112. Caitlin Zoltko to the right of the head pin. She'll drop 5, and that's a left side Caliri. C-A-L-I-R-I for those wondering about the spelling. Bob Caliri of Lexington, Massachusetts. The shot's named after. Candlepin Stars and Strikes contestant in its later years. I'm sure if you search his name, you'll find some matches on, from the Leda Lanes Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Caitlin turns that shot eventually into a 9 for 60 and 6. Caitlin's bowled 6 straight strings greater than 100 so far this season, unbroken. 2 matches in a row greater than 500, unbroken. There's another Caliri, by the way, speaking of unbroken. Another left side one. Caitlin's on the pocket, leaves the 7 and the 9. And it will be a 9-box for Caitlin, 69 after 7. Caitlin's longest winning streak of matches so far is just at 1, just like Mark Milliken's, so she can double it at any time. Average points per away match, 4.7. Average points per home match, 5. Caitlin 1-2 pocket, everything but the 6. Spare leave set up. Single pin. And it's gone. Single pin right on target. No wood needed. No distractions needed. Here's the fill. It's a 3 fill. Still a good 13. 82 and 8. Little full in the head pin pocket. 6 slid to the right, 4 and 10 along with it. And it becomes an 8 for Caitlin, leaving the 6 and the 10. That's a 9. That's 90 after 9 with that 8 box. Caitlin on the 1-2 pocket. Right side check mark, 6 drop. And she'll take 2 and leave 2. The 5 and the 10 are left. It'll be a 9. Be a 99. Second game for Caitlin. Both bowlers 2 points apiece so far. 99 in the second game for Caitlin Zoltko for a 2-game total of 206 plus 2 from Mark Milliken's 204. Both bowlers have taken 1 game apiece, and they're relatively close in the total by 2 in particular. We'll be preparing here for Game 3 here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, Class B North. Caitlin Zoltko at Mark Milliken. Steve Kelly on the call. Great to have you along as we just reset the computers down there for the next game. That's Mark Milliken down there in the red. He does have a 600 on the books so far this season. His head pin average per match appears to be 9.3. So he's shooting well over that benchmark today. Split average per match, 4.6. And Mark will drop 6 so far. 1, 3, 6, 10 for Mark. And he'll spare up the 4 horsemen on the right side. Look at this. On the inside pocket, runs him down. Mark will take 3 on that spare. 6, 9, and 10 taken out. One, 2 pocket. Will the 5-pin go? Yes, it will, but the 3-pin will not. That'll be a 9 and 22 after 2 for Mr. Mark Milliken. 1-3 pocket for Mark. Leaves the 5 and the 7. 8 drop. Now this shot is going to be interesting with the wood. It can go. I would say right side of the cap of the frontmost wood is probably your best bet. Other than that, play the 5 pin directly. And he does that. He does the former. A spare for Mark Milliken. With a crack in the neck. Releases slightly on the right side of that frontmost wood, like I said. Spun it around, took them all out. Follow up on the spare for Mark. 5 down, 5 up. 1, 3, 6, 7, 10. And Mark, oh, misses off to the left. Becomes an 8 for Mark, 45 after 4, leaving the 1 and the 10. Mark Milliken, his past 5 matches, he's taken... excuse me, no, wrong stat. We'll talk about a different one. He is currently the 9th highest Class B high series at 604. Yes, he has a 600 on the books. 6 drop there for Mark. 1, 2, 7, 8. Take 2, leave 2, 2, 7. And I'll make it a 9. Mark Milliken was still a good half, 54 after 5 with 2 marks. Spare 3, spare 5, 9, 8, 9. Halftime total, 258 for Mark Milliken. Kaylin Zoltko, 2-game total at 206. Let's see if she can reach or exceed Mark Milliken. Both bowlers have 2 points apiece so far. Caitlin will start out with a 4 drop. 6 pins on the left side, 6 back left. That's a miss off to the right. Ends up in 9 box for Caitlin, 9 after 1. Kaylin Zoltko, her past 5 matches, 9 strikes, 48 spares, 71 tens. She'll drop 6, and it's the 4 horsemen left side this time with an orange pin head pin. She'll take all but that orange pin head pin. And it will be a 10 for Caitlin. That's 19 after 2. Caitlin averages what appears to be 25.4 head pins per match, 13 splits per match on average. She'll punch the head pins straight through and take a friend. It's a 5 drop for Caitlin. Spread eagle minus the 4. She'll play the 2. Got a few out of it. Leaves the 6 and the 10. She'll make that a 10 box for 29 after 3. Caitlin will drop 5. That's the 1, the 3, the 5, the 8, and the 9. On the head pin, but gets a bit of a weird leave, or weird pin action explosion around the pins in the back. The 5 and the 8 are left. And she'll take an 8 box. 37 after 4. There's an 8 drop for Caitlin. The head pins, the 5 and the 9 this time. Piece of wood that could be helpful as long as you kind of stick to the left side of it. Well, kind of. Keyword was kind of. She takes the 5 out of it and leaves the 9. Ends up being a 9 box. 46 after 5 for Caitlin Zoltko. Mark Milliken taking a lead of 8 in the string, 54 to Caitlin Zoltko's 46. Mark Milliken in the total up by 6, 258 to Caitlin Zoltko's 252 at this halftime total. Here on the ACST you're watching, I'm Steve Kelly. Great to be along. Coming up next will be Mark Milliken, 54 after 5. Here at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. Again, it is a home match on the road for Mark Milliken. Recently, Mark Milliken faced Bruno DeFeo in round 6, taking 2 points with a 534 series. He threw a 127, a 106, another 106, an 88, and a 107. 2 strikes, 13 spares, 9 tens, 24 headpin shots, and 13 splits. Mark will drive 2 out. Hits the outside of the head pin, leaves the 6. I was rooting for that shot. Unfortunately, the 6 pin just held on. Six pin is gone for a 10, 64 after 6 for Mark. Mark Milliken has an all-time high single of 161, all-time high triple of 381, all-time high 5 of 639. One 3 pocket shot, 6 drop, 4-6-2-7. Well, he missed the object pin, and through some pin action and sidewall bounces, he leaves all but that object pin, the 2 pin. Ends up being a 9 for 73 and 7 for Mark Milliken. 2 spares early in the game, in the string. He's only 2 for 7 on the head pin with 2 splits as of right now. Mark on lane 5 to the right of the head pin. Kaleri. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. Plays the wood to the right of the head pin, only gets the head pin. For the 10 box, he'll make it an 8. And that is 81 after 8 for Mark. A mix down to 7, 1-2-9 for Mark Milliken. On the head pin, ooh, just dances around. 2-9. 8, 9, or 10 box in the 9th for Mark Milliken. Potential for 91 with an 89 guarantee. And it'll be somewhere in the middle. Where in the middle? A 90 after 9 for Mark Milliken. First ball on the pocket and frustrating leave, a 7 drop. The 5, the 8, and the 10. Missing the object, sails into the curtain out back. And does it again. Game 3 for Mark Milliken, 97. 3-game total of 301 for Mr. Milliken. Caitlin Zoltko currently on deck, 252, 2.5 games in. Let's see where she goes from here. Needs a 51.5 to tie, 52 to win the 3rd game here on the ACST. And that is a half Worcester plus the 5. So a poke of the 3, poke of the 9, and a poke of the 5 for Caitlin. On the pocket on the second ball, leaves the 6 and the 10. Ends up being a 9 for Caitlin, 55 after 6. Both bowlers having some struggles with the head pin this game in particular. Mark Milliken went 3 for 10. All 3 were splits. Caitlin Zoltko currently 2 for 6 on the head pin. 1-2 pocket, 5 drop. Three, 4, 6, 7, 10. Pokes the 6. 3, 4, 7, 10 now. Goes for the pins rather than the pretty shot, which is a good strategy if you're having trouble getting pins to go down. That's an 8 box for Caitlin, 63 after 7. 3 for 7 on the head pin, 2 splits for Caitlin. She'll mix 5 down, missing the head pin again. 1, 3, 6, 9, 10. And wow, are you kidding me? That was a worthy shot for Caitlin. Both Caitlin and Mark are having trouble with these shots where you put the ball right where it needs to go and it's just not, there's not much to show for it. There's a 10 box for Caitlin, that's 73 and 8. Caitlin will pop the pocket and pop 8. 6 and 10 left now for a spare. Just missing the 6 pin off to the left. Caitlin Zoltko from the 3rd box onward has gone every other first ball on the head pin. She'll take a 10 on that. 83 and 9. As you can see, a lot of the boxes have been kind of in the 10s, 9s, and 8s range for the most part today. Caitlin will take 2 out there. Second ball, same as the first. Caitlin Zoltko currently 83 after 9. Last ball will be an 8. Last box will be an 8. And that's 91, game 3 for Caitlin Zoltko. Mark Milliken takes the third game with a 97. Caitlin Zoltko with a 91. 3-game total of 297 for Caitlin here in the third. Mark Milliken, 301. Holding on to the total by 4 and taking the third game by 6. Coming up here will be the fourth game. Mark Milliken will be the next to fire. You're watching the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tours, Class B North. Caitlin Zoltko, 24 and 46 versus Mark Milliken, 30 and 68 at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. Mark Milliken in the red. Start out in the pocket, 8 drop, 2 and 4. And there we go. There's a mark for Mark Milliken. Seems to be a bit of a pattern. Mark Milliken in game 2 and game 3 opened up with a spare. And he does it once again here. Look at that. No problem. This will be the follow-up. Milliken 1-2 pocket. Drops 4 and fills 4. That is a headpin shot. An awkward split. Really should have been a better leave, all things considered. 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Tries to get a sweep, can't quite do it. He'll make that a 9 for his efforts. That's 23 after 2 for Mr. Mark Milliken. We'll take 8 out. 3 and 6 left down there. Oh, and he'll punch one and leave the other. Right on target, but just a little bit too much on target. Had to play it at an angle. Becomes a 9. 32 after 3. Thank you for tuning in to the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, the best place to watch some of the most exciting Candlepin matches from a wide selection of bowlers from all skill levels. Today you're watching Class B North. There's Class A, B, C, D, and E. 1-3 for Mark Milliken. Takes 9 out. It's the 4-pin for a single pin spare opportunity. And they'll miss it off to the right. Perfect on the head pin this game so far. Ends up being a 10. 42 and 4 for Mark Milliken. That's a 7 drop and a right side triangle with the 6-pin leading for Mark. 6, 9, 10. Oh, and he gets deflected off a piece of wood. That is gnarly. That is brutal. Only the 6-pin went. It's going to be an 8 box. Perfect on the headpin still, 50 after 5 for Mr. Milliken. That's a 3.5 game total of 351 for Mark. Here's Caitlin. 4 go down, or 4 stay up, that is, 6 go down. She'll take all but the head pin. Missing the head pin. It was the 4 horsemen left side. 2, 4, 7 go down. So clean that up though for a 10. 10 after 1. There's apparently a bit of a slight issue with the reset button. Caitlin, who works at Lakeside, is obliged to notice. So that'll just take a quick moment here. When we talk about Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire, off of Route 101. And it's a great little house, 24 lanes. Plenty of leagues to choose from. Great bar. Just a great house, Lakeside Lanes. It's my home alley, and Caitlin's home alley, and many other folks. Great folks at Lakeside Lanes, such as Kevin Davis. You might know him from the Candlepin Stars and Strikes days. There's also Tim Lipke. You may also know him from the Candlepin Stars and Strikes days. A lot of old TV legends here now work at Lakeside Lanes. Here's Caitlin. 1-3 pocket. Leaves 2 pins, 9 and 10. Piece of wood might roll back in, possibly. Might be 50-50. We're going to get a check down there. Shane Lipke, Tim Lipke's son. We'll be going down to have a look. While we're waiting for that, so Lakeside Lanes is on the first right off of the Massabesic traffic circle off after taking exit 1 on 101 and adjacent to the Massabesic Lake. That's where it gets its name. Lakeside Lanes is a humble 24-lane house comprised of all wood lanes and approaches. Opened on November 27th, 1959.
That is not. Are you serious?
And that pin is in. As you can hear Caitlin's grin to that. Basically misses it anyway, gets 1 pin. This will be for a 10 box. There's the 10. Caitlin Zoltko, 20 after 2. Caitlin with a splash on the head pin, much better spare leave this time. 6 and 10, 8 drop. And there's a spare. That's what we've been waiting for. Caitlin Zoltko on the board with a mark. No problem on the 6 and the 10 with wood. Ends up being a 7 fill. Missed the headpin, but didn't matter much. Missing the target off a few planks, leaving the 1 and the 2. Becomes a 9, 46 after 4 for Caitlin. Oh, and a 9 drop and a 10 drop. There's a strike for Caitlin Zoltko, finally. Key that in here real quick. That is 56 and a bonus after 5 for Caitlin Zoltko versus Mark Milliken's 50 after 5. Caitlin Zoltko with 2 marks, Mark Milliken with 1 mark this half. Here's mark in response. Punching 2 so far, half Worcester left side. And the second ball sails into the void. The void stares back. Ooh, and it'll be a 5 for Mark. That's 55 and 6. First missed headpin of the game. Seven drop. Off to the left, 1, 6, and 9. Oh, and there's a spare. No problem for Mark Milliken. Cleans that mess up. That's 65 and a bonus after 7. Let's have a look at this again. Kicks the wood, kicks the headpin forward, so missing it was not a consequence. Oh, and on the nose. A good fill, but a rough leave. 6 drop. 7, 10, 4, 6. Mark chooses the safe route to take 2 halves at a time. Takes the 4 and the 7 first. Now he'll go for the 6 and the 10. He's on it. That's a 10. 81 and 8. That'll be a 6 drop for Milliken. One, 7, 10, 3. Oh, and he gets robbed. The 7 pin survives the chaos. 1, 2, 7, 10. The 7 survives. It'll be a 9. 90 and 9 for Mark. And a right side punch for Mark Milliken now. 3 and the 9 punched out. On the headpin there, nice recovery, but leaves the 5. For the 10 box, he's got it. That's a 100 at game 4 from Mark Milliken for a 401 4-game total. 1 strike, 7 spares, 11 tens, 48% perfect box percentage. 53% on the headpin today so far. Mark Milliken doing better on the right lane on lane 6 compared to lane 5, 215 versus 186. Caitlin will mix down 5. So far in the strike fill. She'll punch 1 and only 1. 6 on the strike, 62 after 5. And it becomes a leave of the 3 and the 7 for an 8 box. 70 after 6 for Caitlin. Big hit on the 1-2, leaves the 6 and the 10. That's a spare leave setup for Caitlin Zoltko. And there it goes. There's a mark on the board for Caitlin Zoltko, her 3rd of the game. Here's the follow-up. 1-2 pocket again. 5 pin thinking about it, not quite. 7 fill. 3 triangle. Oh, and a shot right where it should have gone. But the 2 dances around the 5 and leaves the 5, so it won't be a second mark in a row. It'll be a 10, though. Caitlin Zoltko on track to take the 4th game, 97 after 8. 2 boxes to get to 100 or greater. Head pin shot for Caitlin again. 7 split. 3, 9, 10. And there it goes, the 3, 9, 10 fall. Caitlin 107 and then some. Let's see if we can get this queued up for you. Oops, sorry, I have to cut it short. Caitlin Zoltko on the spare fill, and it will be at strike fill. Now there's a reason to cut a replay short. Strike fill, strike on spare. 127 and then some for Caitlin Zoltko. Here we go. Check this out. Strike fill will be 7 so far. And that will be an 8 fill. Caitlin Zoltko with a quietly brilliant 135 game 4. 4 game total of 432 for Caitlin Zoltko, reclaiming the total. Up by 31 over Mark Milliken's 401. And taking the 4th game by 35. 135 to Mark Milliken's 100. So that's 2 points in favor of Caitlin Zoltko in the 4th. We move on to game number 5. Milliken's opening ball. Hey, he ain't going to take that lying down for long. That will be a strike for Mark Milliken. In fact, let's watch that again. Mark Milliken, really good at a mark on the first box, and that's no exception. Milliken on a strike. 1-2 pocket, drops 7, 3, 6, 10 with wood that will help. Help for a spare, that is. 3, 6, 10. 7 so far in the strike fill. Oh, and he goes into the gutter, though. Thought about it maybe for a hair too long. 7 fill, 17 after 1. So you got to just throw it and not think. That'll be a 10 instead of a spare for Mark Milliken. That's 27 after 2. And Mark will poke 2, and it's a half Worcester left side. Outside of the head pin. 3-pin, left standing alone. It looked like a solid spare, but the 3-pin was glued to the ground. It'll be a 10 for Mark, still perfect, 37 after 3. Piece of wood out of play on the reset. So Mark Milliken with a strike and 2 10s. The follow-up now, 1-3 pocket. Another headpin shot, but a split. 5, 8, 10. He'll take 2 and leave 1. And he'll make that yet another 10 box for 47 after 4 now for Mark Milliken. Mark Milliken of Portsmouth Bolorama. A home average on the road. Takes 6 out. 1, 2, 4, and 10 for Mark. Misses off to the right. And then that won't be a 10 box, it'll be a 7 for Mark. Milliken with 54 after 5 in the 5th and final game, the final first half Hill Bowl today. 4:55 so far, 4.5 game total. As Caitlin Zoltko looks to respond and starts her 5th game. Caitlin on the head pin next. 7 split. 4, 7, 10. Kevin Davis bantering with Caitlin over that shot. And look at that. That's how you shoot it. That is precisely how you shoot it.
I told her where to stop. It wasn't. That's not always the easy part.
Watch this. Beautiful shot by Caitlin Zoltko. Spin it over to the 10. That's all you got to do. 1-2 pocket and at least a 9 fill. It will be a 9 fill on the head pin for Caitlin Zoltko on the spare. 19 after 1. And she'll take the single for the spare. That's another one for Caitlin Zoltko. Watch this. No problem.
This Class C. Class B.
Caitlin on a spare, on a double spare, another 9 drop. It's a repeat. Another 19. 38 after 2. And she's at it again. Caitlin Zoltko does it again, a 3rd mark in a row. 48 in a bonus after 3. You ready for this? This is a different replay than last time. It just barely stays on. The follow-up. Oh, on the head pin, but a 3 fill. Buries it. Talon to spread eagle. Caitlin heads for the left side. Takes 2 of 3. That's a wise decision. I know Dan Murphy on Candlepin Stars and Strikes would always suggest if you have a lead like that, go for the side with fewer pins. And that'll be a 7 for Caitlin, 58-4. Big half by Caitlin here in the 5th. Up in the total by a considerable amount. Caitlin 1-3 pocket. I was about to say a 9 drop. She leaves the 6 and the 9. The 9 pin was wiggling. Not a lot, but a little. Oh, thought about it too much. The pressure was on. For the 10. She misses it again. Excuse me, that'll be an 8 box, not a 9 box. What am I saying? 66 after 5 for Caitlin Zoltko. Plus 12 over Mark Milliken's 54. Halfway through the 5th and final game. 498 Caitlin Zoltko, 455 Mark Milliken. It's a difference of 43 in the total. And Mark Milliken will start immediately. To the left of the head pin, drops 3. Milliken takes 2, leaves 5 remaining. And it'll be a nice cleanup of a 10 for Mark Milliken, 64 after 6. Hope you enjoyed this match today at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. This is Lakeside Lanes off of 101, exit 1 in Manchester, New Hampshire. If you ever want to come down and take a look or have a bowl a few, throw the rock, they say. Mark Milliken with a 5 drop, leaves the 1 and the 7. The ACST is made possible by our commissioner, Danny Finn. Class B treasurer is Corey Alisi. There's an 8 box for Mark Milliken. Micah Imperato works the stats. Thank the staff at Lakeside Lanes for helping us put this on today. I'd like to thank Steve Abedili for some photo and video content. You can check out the description for his work. Check out the link in the description for his work specifically. 3 drop for Milliken there. 478.
You've got 118 in C right now.
Oops. And Milliken's just a little off the target, leaves the 1 and the 2. And there's a 9 for Milliken. That's 81 and 8. 2 boxes to go.
Well, they all came in with, league averages and never threw ACST before. So now they're going to all these places throwing matches and throwing 600s all over the place. So
Here comes Mark. 1-3 pocket. He takes 9 down, leaves the 7 pin. Single pin spare opportunity for Mark, and he will capitalize on that. Mark is at 91 and a bonus after 9. 4 for 9 on the head pin this game with 1 split. That's just for a wood clear. Probably gonna have to reset that, my guess. Maybe. Wood clear still in progress. I have a feeling it's going to take a pin out. Yep, there we go. We're going to have to reset. That's a respot. Here's Mark. Dropping 6, maybe 7. It will be 7. 7 fill. And Mark will collide with the left half, the 4 and the 7, and leave the 9. And he'll take a 10 box for a 108 fifth game. Mark Milliken is done for the day. That will be a 509 5-game total with a 92, a 112, a 97, a 100, and a 108 for Mr. Milliken the Trucker. Caitlin Zoltko currently sitting with a 66 half. We'll close out this match. Mark Milliken down in the total by up in the total by 11. Caitlin Zoltko potentially will be taking that. She'll start with a 6 drop so far. Three, 7, 6, 10 for Caitlin. Missing the spare. That's Kevin Davis just checking the wood to see if it's in or out. Looks like it is out. Always thank Kevin Davis for his services down there. Caitlin Zoltko will turn it into a 9 box. 75 after 6 for Caitlin. Mark Milliken's lead in the total drops to 2. He's up in the string by 33. 4 boxes to go for Caitlin to overcome those 2. Zoltko fires off to the right. Starts out with a 4 drop. Caitlin misses the head pin, hits the wood, takes some pins out in the rear, leaves the 1, 2, 4, 7. It's at least a 6 box. Becomes an 8. 83 after 7 for Caitlin. She has taken the total. She's now over by 6 and counting. 25 left to take the string. For a potential 6 points and a potential 10-point take-home. Caitlin will take 7 out, 4, 5, 7. Oh, and she sails into the hole. And she does it again. That will be a 7 box for Caitlin. That's 90 after 8.
I just couldn't get it so far left, guys, okay?
So Caitlin has 18 pins to find to take the string. That will be for 2 additional points. But she did get the important one, the total, the 4-pointer. Head pin, 5 drops so far. Cluster of 5 on the right. And she'll spare that up. That was just what she needed for this. 100 after 9 for Caitlin Zoltko. The lead drops to 8 in the string for Mark Milliken. Four fill on the strike, on the spare, excuse me. 104, 4 pins to go for the string. There's 1 down, 3 left for the string. And I think that should do it, actually. It will be a 5. Actually, no, that will be, excuse me, that will be the string for Caitlin Zoltko. 109, I believe. It was put in as a 10 down there, but we saw 1 pin standing. 109 for Caitlin Zoltko, and that will be a 5-game total of 541 for Caitlin. And Mark, or excuse me, that is, nope, what am I saying? Sorry, score correction, streamer operator error. No, that is going to be put in as a, no, you know what? Jeez, this is something. It's been a long day. It's a 109 for Caitlin Zoltko. I was looking at the wrong scoreboard, excuse me. That is a 109 indeed for Caitlin Zoltko. 541 5-game total for Caitlin Zoltko and a 509 for Mark Milliken. Caitlin Zoltko pulling it out in the final boxes in particular. Holding on and then surviving and advancing. That was the story for Caitlin Zoltko today. Final stats today, Caitlin Zoltko will indeed take 10 points and move to 34 and 50, while Mark Milliken with 4 points will go to 34 and 78. Big victory for Caitlin Zoltko today. Here at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, here's some graphs if you want to pause the video and look at some of the event stats. We'll be heading out of here a little bit quickly because there is a league moving in. So anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this match today here at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. If you want to see more stuff, check out my channel 3 Ball Spare on YouTube, as well as the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook and YouTube, respectively. Anyways, I've been Steve Kelly. We'll see you at the next Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Have a great one, everyone. Good night.